So authorities feel that Cydney was killed, right? So many of us question her disappearance. What could have happened? What could have, say, taken place, right? What was the situation for someone to be killed, right? An unidentified gunman. Because when you're say involved in things, right, helping people get killed like that as well. Unidentified gunman, right? When Cydney was killed, right? That's where my question is at, right? You help people, right? You involved in things. You're depending on what area you're in, right? Depending on what type of people that you're helping, that gets individuals killed, right? That's Did someone disagree with her helping the women Afghan, right? Afghan women and kids. Did someone disagree with her helping? That was my first question. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as an ID Go app. You might want to get those two things combined and make them into one. And I'm a Discovery influencer. That's indeed a fact. So Cydney, she has been missing since January 2008. She, along with her driver, they were both abducted by a gunman. Right? By a gunman. No one knows the identity of the gunman, right? The location of the abduction is and was Kandahar, right? Kandahar City. It's possible that's Afghanistan, right? It's possible Cydney was killed, as I stated in the opening of the video, right? Cydney was killed by those who abducted her, right? Her and that driver, right? The driver. Her body may have been buried in Kandahar, right? Cydney lived and worked in that area for 3 years, right? Helping Afghan women and kids. There's been various individuals. You have Americans who have went missing. Afghanistan, right? You have people from various lands who have went missing, even their own people, right? Disagreements. To know that a gunman, say the gunman being involved, right? Were there any disagreements between she and someone in her involvement, in her activities, right? Helping Afghan women and kids. Lived and worked in the area for 3 years. Because, yeah, I question Americans who go missing in the area, right? I question people that's from Canada. I question journalists. I question people that are involved in helping people in other lands, because that is how people do go missing, right? Oftentimes people don't want you there helping their people. Sometimes you can be their own people. Sometimes you can be your own people with your own people, and them not want you to be involved or help, and that's how people get killed as well, right? Involvement and helping people should have been more specific pertaining to the type of women and kids she had. Because I'm thinking to help Afghan women and kids, some individual helping them, you wouldn't want to kill the help, right? Not everybody agrees. That's where her disappearance stands questionable, right? What other activities could she have been involved in helping? Because even that would answer some of it as well. What other activities could she have been involved in helping? Right? There's been colleges here in America who have honored her, right? Honored her contributions and things that she had did, right? Things she were involved in. She was also a teacher, right? She's been honored in death which is a good thing, right? The risk people take to do things and helping and wanting to contribute, right? Contributions and stuff like that. Some people don't want things in return, they just want to help, right? People get killed once again over stuff like that, you wanting to help. Because it's been people I've known that have traveled to various lands, and people here in America have told them, you shouldn't be going to those lands, you should be helping our people here in America. Who's to say? Alright? Why would I tell somebody that they shouldn't leave America to go to faraway lands and help other people? They might need more help there than we do here in America. Yes, we have starving kids, or we have kids that need, or individuals that need here in America, but we also have more resources here in America oftentimes than other lands. That's to not say that other lands completely go without, but sometimes how they say, well, America is land of the free and we have excess amounts of things and all the rest going on here in America. That's why so many people from faraway lands try to move and come to America to establish themselves in America, because we have so much abundance here in America, right? So when people are involved in going to other lands, once again, sometimes those people in those other lands don't want you coming into their territory. Could be why she was killed or something, right? You know, Americans, that happens to Americans as well. People from America get killed by Americans, as I stated before. You being in a certain territory or certain area where people don't want you involved, or they feel that the help is not needed or something like that. So some people get pushed out, or issues and all the rest, right? You want to do good deeds and all the rest. My thing is, if the person is not bothering anybody or posing any other risk, because to be a teacher is to not really pose too much risk. You're there to teach, and oftentimes whatever culture you're involved in, you're teaching those kids their own culture. It's not like you're just going into a land or somewhere and then just imposing your own culture on the people or something like that. Usually when you are living somewhere and have been there for a few years, or even if you're from that land or something like that, usually the culture, sometimes people mix in their own culture or something like that. If that were an issue or something like that, say somebody goes and they teaches Afghan women and kids and then impose their own views, beliefs, or things like that, where people that's not a part of that will want you killed because they feel like you're bringing your beliefs or cultures in or something like that. People get killed over that as well, right? But her disappearance should be questioned more and more, right? By more and more people on camera and stuff like that, asking what could have taken place. No gunmen. Well, there have been individuals that have went missing, right? Afghanistan, by random unidentified gunmen, the kidnappings and all the rest, right? There have been. Her situation could have been one of those situations that took place like that, right? But I always question views and beliefs when someone is killed by a gunman in a land, when you're involved in activities teaching or helping young women and kids, or women and kids, when you're there teaching, right? Because not everybody shares the same beliefs. If you don't share the same beliefs, that's how gunmen come along and kill you, to remove you out of their land or remove you out of a space where they feel like you shouldn't be there, you're not needed there, even if you want to be there doing a good deed, right? Yeah, I think that's it for now, and analysis and questioning. What type of people go missing? What type of people get killed, right? What type of people are involved in things and wanting to do good deeds and be teachers and help fix lives and all the rest, where other people feel like, well, we can kill that person, but maybe that wasn't the situation. Maybe that was just a random kidnap of the teacher and the driver, right? But anytime someone goes missing and then is killed the way that she was, is to question beliefs. The question of beliefs. Everyone has different beliefs. To be involved in, because she was known to empower, right? The teacher was known to empower women and kids. She was there empowering women and kids. Maybe the gunman took issue with her empowering women and kids, because to empower someone is to help them have their own identity, is to have them have some esteem about themselves, is to have some identity about themselves, is to have some care about themselves, is to have some worth about themselves. And not everyone in particular lands or in certain lands, right, feel that women should be empowered. Because it's known that in certain lands, women are not allowed to drive and all the rest, right? I question various things. Women are not allowed to drive. Women are not allowed to drive in certain lands. That woman had a driver herself. I'm in question of who her driver could have been. Her driver was killed as well as she was killed, right? Was the driver actually killed? It's known in lands, once again, it's known in lands that there's different lands where women are not allowed to drive. They're not allowed to drive themselves. They have drivers. It's been stated that the driver was killed and more than likely she was buried, right? Was the driver really killed? Could the driver, who was the driver and who was the driver all involved with? Did the driver and the gunman, right? Was there anything? Her driver, right? That's what I'm saying. People need to question more the background and history of people. Who was this woman's driver, right? You're around the location of Afghanistan and all the rest, right? Where it all took place. Who was the driver? What was the driver's background? Did the driver have any dealings with the gunman or anything like that, right? Everything, analyzing it, picking things apart, wanting to know, right? How long did she have that driver, right? Did the gunman and the driver know one another, right? Maybe that was just a random killing or something like that, but you would want to question that as well, that driver in relation to the gunman, outside of the driver being her driver. Were there any talks amongst the driver and the gunman at any time? Because to know she was involved in empowering women could be why she got killed, could be why she's not alive anymore. To be a woman empowering Afghan women and kids is how women get killed. Not everybody knows that. What could have led to her demise or her death? Empowering other people, and more likely, empowering women and kids. To empower people, as I stated before, is to give them some sense of ability or strength about themselves, or for them to become better, empowerment. There's people who would have wanted her killed or wanted her dead or something once. There's people who would have, wanting someone dead for empowering women in the areas of Afghanistan. I can see how that turned out the way that it did, right? We're on Investigation Discovery. The ID logo stands in the far left corner. Yes, we're on InvestigationDiscovery.com. The ID logo was in the far left corner. Right, and you got self-empowerment, others empowering you, strength, right? Because if women are not allowed to drive in certain areas, right? In certain lands, if women are not allowed to drive, well, the driver comes into play. Who hired the driver, right? question all types of things, right? The driver, what all was the driver, we're all, to drive someone is to say, where's the locations that you drive an individual? What is the point and the purpose of having a driver, right? What was the intentions of the driver? Yes, because it uncovers so many things when someone has a driver in a land where women, certain areas where women are not allowed to drive, and if the gunman knew the driver before, or anything like that, right? Organizations, or how the driver was hired, as I said that before, and if the gunman knew the driver, or anything like that, or I wasn't gonna say that the driver could have been provided by the gunman, no. But the trying to connect things to see why things are the way that they are, the connecting the dots to see why what happened. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why did this go this way? Why did that go that way? Right? Connecting the dots to see why was an individual killed. Connect the dots to the driver, to the teacher, to the gunman, right? Connect the gunman to the driver, to the teacher, right? Connect the organization of empowering women and Afghan kids to the driver, to the gunman, to the kids, right? All that was at play. Like a spider web. That empowerment. Unless he just, once again, unless the gunman just randomly did a kidnap or something like that. Because some will question, well, who was the driver as before? Did the driver kill her? Someone asked that far, someone questioned that far. Did the driver kill the woman? Well, it was said by law enforcement authorities that she and the driver were both killed, right? But you would throw that in there as well as question, just in case. You know, sure, law enforcement, that's their job to question and handle that sort of things. But for people that don't think that far, could the driver have killed Cydney? Right? Law enforcement felt that they both were killed. Right? I just threw that in for those that didn't question. But yeah, dear viewers, analyze more and question more. Question her disappearance and what all could have taken place in the empowerment. So may you enjoy your day. I will in fact enjoy mine, and I'm gone for now.